Hi, I'm Mamta Narula, radio host, MC, and storyteller. After 25 years connecting with audiences on EBC radio and at major South Asian events, I'm excited to bring you Moments with Mamta. This podcast shares real conversations about the moments that shape us, stories of growth, grit, and inspiration. Thank you for listening and welcome to Moments with Mamta. All right. So, as we have been talking on Moments with Mamta with people from all varieties of life, and there's so much to learn from these inspiring stories. Today, I have the pleasure of talking and bringing as a guest somebody who's very special. Not just to me, but for a large part of our community in New Jersey, because we will talk about what he does, and I'll have him tell what he does because we let our guests talk about it. But I respect him for the kind of work he's doing and the kind of appreciation that he gets from the community. So we're very proud of him. And without further ado, I'd like to bring the mayor of West Windsor, Mr. Hemant Marathe, on Moments with Mamta. Welcome, Hemantji.
Thank you, Mamtaji. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I've always, when I do radio shows, I've actually spoken to you, and I know there are so many listeners that we have on radio. But when I started podcast, I was shortlisting, a list of people who I want to invite, and somehow your name really popped up. I'm like, being from West Windsor, I have to talk to him because it's a very interesting role you play. So let's talk about you, Hemantji. How did it all start? Like, just talk about who is Hemant Marathe, and then we'll talk about your childhood and your entire journey so far.
Yeah. So, as you know, I'm mayor of your town, West Windsor, New Jersey. We moved here in 1994 when my second daughter was born. I always tell people when they look at me, they will always consider me Indian. But half my life I've lived in this town. And the house we live in, we have lived here for 31 years. That's one place on earth I've lived the longest. I left India when I was a 22-year-old child, and even in those 22 years, we moved once. So this house we have is one place on earth I've lived the longest, one place. So for all practical purposes, West Windsor is my home. I consider it as my home because that's where I have spent half my life and most of my one place. So when we moved here, as I told you, I had a 5-year-old and a 4-month-old daughter. We moved here because of my wife's job. She was working for a company in Lawrenceville. And I had a job that I gave up at that time. Remote work wasn't possible. I mean, nobody had thought about remote work. So I was stay-at-home dad. I used to do some consulting, occasionally travel, but before it became fashionable, I was stay-at-home dad. So when my daughter started kindergarten the first year, I said, oh, this sounds interesting. Maybe I can contribute. So I ran for a school board. I lost. I was new in town. Nobody, even my neighbor, didn't know me, which was okay. I mean, then I ran the second time in 3 years. I lost again by 5 votes, literally. I mean, that's when people say every vote counts. I know what it truly means, not just a cliche for me. And then, as you say, I won in 2001. And as you say, rest is history. I've been doing public service for 25 years in various roles in this town.
So, Hemantji, before we talk about your role related to this town, which is very prestigious and very valuable, how was your childhood like when you were growing up? Did you ever thought of doing this? And so, just talk to me about those years of your growing up.
No, not. I mean, not until. Most of the things happened in my life not because I planned. I didn't say I want to be mayor of West Windsor. I never said that when we moved to West Windsor, I want to be mayor of this town or I want to be involved in politics. Of course, I have opinion about every topic under the earth, right? And I'm not afraid to share it, even if everybody around me disagrees with me, which is okay. So growing up, I mean, I wasn't a political family. My dad had a business. My mom was stay-home mom. Some of my friends were involved in local Shiv Sena politics in Bombay. But other than that, it wasn't very political. Then I got into IIT Bombay, and once I got into IIT, more than study, I did all the other stuff in
Oh, wow.
college. Yeah,
Can
yeah.
we talk about that? So, what was the fun stuff for your fun life in IIT? Because to me, IIT is all padai, padai, padai.
No, that's not true. There are people who do padai, padai, padai. I did padai only to get into IIT. Once I got into IIT, I was the sports secretary of my hostel. I was the general council member of my hostel. I was the general secretary of the hostel. So, general secretary of hostel is like the mayor of hostel and council member. So, I was more into sports, more into extracurricular activities. I have zero ability to play sports. So it's just more watching and strategizing and trying to win for the hostel the cup. So it was all that. I did that for us was a 5-year program. So in third year, I got elected to sports secretary. Fourth year, I was council member. Fifth year, I became the general secretary. So I've been doing these, my wife will say, non-paying jobs, right?
So, but I will say not non-paying jobs. I'll say you always had the leadership qualities.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and the resilience. Ki once
Yes.
you have lost something, but you will still try, and you will try again.
Yeah. No, that is absolutely true. I mean, I like to interact with people. I like to talk to people. I like to help people, and that's the best part of every role I have done. I mean, as a general secretary, I would interact with new kids, new students coming in, and their parents are always anxious. Their first time, most of these kids are away from mom and dad for the first time, so they were always anxious. So I felt good keeping them at peace, talking to the kids, helping the kids out, because you hear stories, and I would say, no, this. Don't worry about your child. I mean, we will take good care of them. Again, that is the best part of everything I have done. That ability to help people, ability to make people feel comfortable, and that was never more important than during COVID, because COVID, there was a lot of fear of unknown, because nobody knew what to expect, and nobody knew what they can do, what they can't do. So I became mayor of West Windsor. I'm just going all over the place, not following logical sequence, but I became mayor of West Windsor in January 1, 2018, and then soon COVID hit. And there was a lot of fear among people as to what they can do, what they can do. The best part of my job was to talking to people and educating them and telling them, look, you don't have to fear. It's not like a mosquito flying around trying to bite you. You have to participate to get that virus. So if you follow the guidelines given by the health professionals, you'll be okay. And
Hemanji, COVID definitely is something that we never expected. So,
right.
one of those pandemics that I never thought that I'm going to see in my life. So, I wanted to ask you that when you graduated from IIT Bombay, then I assume you started working. Was it in India or you moved here to US?
No, I worked in India only for 2 months, and then I moved here. I came here to Virginia Tech for my master's degree in electrical engineering. Then I went to University of Washington, Seattle, because my fiance at that time was studying there. She was doing PhD. So actually, I had gotten a job in Minnesota, but she said, no, come here. I don't want to stay apart. So I went to University of Washington, did my PhD
Okay.
in IIT, knowing I wasn't a studious student. Many people would be surprised that I ever did a PhD, but I did a PhD. Then I did work in electrical engineering field for up to 2006 before I changed profession. So I used to do consulting from home on and off between, we moved here in 94. So between 94 and 2001. So in my life, I have held a job for maybe less than a year total combined. But most of the time I have either run my business or done these non-paying jobs, as my wife calls it.
All right. So, a stay-home dad who did consulting here and there, less than a year in his entire life, he's done a 9 to 5 job, but runs his own business. So, let's talk about. So, what do you do actually? So, what did you do starting 2006 onwards?
Okay, so from 1994 to 2006, I used to consult for electric utility companies. I was, I jokingly say, I believe you have JCP&L. So I jokingly tell some people that if you look at their software, some of that will have my initials on it, some of the software, because I did work for their parent company, First Energy, as a consultant. I used to work for a company in Seattle who provided software for all electric utility companies. So, again, jokingly, I say nobody bothered me until the lights went out. Nobody knew what I was doing when the lights were on. My job was to make sure that your lights won't go out. So
You
as
were the
long as
most important person. When
no,
the lights go off, you were the most important
no.
person. Or you are the most important person.
So as long as the lights were on, nobody bothered. But then in 2006, a relative wanted to start a business, so I had money, so I invested, and then I realized it's not a hands-off business, so I had to stop my consulting and start. I'm in importing Indian foods from India and distributing it here to various Indian stores. So that I started between 2006 to today. That I
Okay, that's
have been doing
lovely.
that. Yeah, yeah. So
And is this
that's
is this is this an easy business to be in, or there are challenges?
every business has challenges. I always say that people appreciate the challenges in their business. They don't appreciate challenges in their either supplier or their customer. So every business has their own challenges. But I always say, if it was too easy, everybody would do it. So in a way, it's good to have challenges in business that discourages competitors to come in and make it. If it was too easy, everybody would do it. So there are always challenges in every business. So nothing different. Now it's even more challenging with the new tariff and with India and US not having the best of relationship. It's more challenging. Our cash flow needs have gone up through the roof because of the 50% tariff. But you learn to handle challenges and you learn to manage your business as best as you can.
So, Hemanji, as a person, when you get into a situation which is not an easy one, quite challenging, how do you handle? Like, what is your personality like?
I mean, the main important thing is going to be that there's going to be tomorrow and the sun is going to come out. I mean, there are very few situations in life where there's life and death, right? So you look at it, you see, okay, what's the best? And many times what happens is you decide that, okay, this is the best I can do given the knowledge I have and everything available at this point. 5 years down the line, that may not look like, why did you think like that? But at that time, as long as you make the best decisions you think you are making, then don't second guess yourself and don't worry. I mean, it doesn't matter, because you can't go back 5 years later and put yourself in that situation and think, hey, why did I do that? You did that because at that time you thought it was the best. Even while making decision as a public servant, you do the best decision that you can, because I know what the constraints are. A lot of people don't know what my constraints are. They think, oh, it's simple, they do this, but they don't know what the constraints are. Similarly, whether it's business or whether it's being mayor, there are constraints that not everybody knows. Everybody have their opinion. Everybody likes to pass commentary. Everybody thinks they can do my job better than they can, but that's okay. I mean, that's part of the territory. But I don't second guess myself. I never regret what I did. I mean, life is good. There's no
Okay.
reason to complain.
And while talking, I'm just realizing that you are a very positive person.
Yes.
You have this smile on your face. In the last 15-20 minutes we have spoken, you just have this beautiful smile. It talks to me a lot about you. That if you are in terms of failures or in terms of tough situations, how you'll handle. I think you're a calm person. I don't think you're a person who's so hyper. Is that true?
No, yeah, there's no reason to get hyper. I mean, when you look at me, when I look around, I would think I'm better than 95% of people in the world. So why complain? I mean, you in life, you can always find somebody who's doing better than you. You'll find somebody who is doing worse than you. I mean, you can't be jealous of person doing better than you or feel superior to person doing worse than you. I mean, it is what it is. You do whatever you feel is the best, and be happy with it. I always say, if I complain, nobody cares, so I complain.
So tell me one thing, that how different is it to run your own business versus being a public servant?
Oh, it's a lot different. I mean, in business, you're kind of the boss. You can do what you want to do. And if somebody disagrees, you can say, hey, no, this is the way it's going to be, whether you like it or not. In public service, that's a little difficult because you have to get everybody along. I mean, the council has to approve whatever I'm presenting to them. In public service, there are a lot more constraints than in my business because I have to follow the state laws, the federal laws. I have to get along and find a compromise that everybody can live with. I mean, there's no decision that I have made that 100% of people said, "Oh, this is great," right? There's always somebody who is unhappy. And a lot of time what happens is people fear of the unknown. So even if the situation is bad, people say, "Oh, I'm used to this bad situation," right? I don't want to change and take a chance because it may get worse. I mean, I'm of the person who says that even if I can make incrementally better, I will do it, right? I will never give you a perfect solution. There will, if you have facing some problem in township, I may never be able to give you a perfect solution. But if the solution I give you is a little better than what it is now, you should go for it. You should say, okay, it's incremental change and it will get incrementally better. There are a lot of people who think, oh no, I'm a fear of the unknown. I don't want to I don't want to try that because what if it gets worse? I mean,
So
you're
you
not
want
in.
people to be open to changes, open to
Oh,
accepting.
absolutely, absolutely, and that is very important. That you try to incrementally improve anything that you find, and try to find a solution that will make it better. It may not be perfect. Very rarely it's perfect, but at least try to make it that it's better than what it is today. And I hope a lot of people appreciate that I'm trying to make it better. It may not be perfect. And then in some situations, it's good for some people, it's not so good for other people. But as long as I'm not unfair to anybody, I will do it if it's better for West Windsor. So
Mayor since 2018 of West
I
Windsor.
have been mayor since 2018. Yeah.
So that also tells that how loved you are by the community,
Yeah.
because it's not easy to sustain for this long. Knock on the wood. So tell me, a response of community towards you, towards your decisions. It cannot be always negative. It has to be a good mix, right? So how has the community been to you?
Oh, community has been very good. I mean, that's what keeps me going. I mean, you go on Facebook, you go on social media, you see a lot of people complaining, right? When people have complaints, they go and complain on social media. If they have compliments, they will give you in person, they will email you, and I have numerous things, nice things that people have said to me, numerous things that people have sent to me. And whenever, if I ever get frustrated, I just look at them. I have saved them. I've looked at them. Especially during COVID, I got so many private messages saying thank you because I made a difference in their life. So when I look back, I can say, okay, I have made so many people's life better than what it would have been if I was not around. So that's my positive. The people who are complaining are going to complain. Some people have genuine complaints, honest complaints. Some people by nature like to complain, and some people complaints are political. I mean, it's all they come in three forms, right?
So you know which complaints to ignore.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know which complaints to ignore. I know which complaints are genuine, and I will try to just address as best as I can. Right. The ideal example, we just had a very bad snowstorm. Now, one of the things is that we haven't had this kind of snowstorm for many years. So people are not used to, people have forgotten how it is. And I just heard yesterday that for 10 straight days, the temperature is not going above freezing. This has not happened for 65 years. So, I mean, last time it happened, I wasn't born, right? So, so people don't realize that if it's that cold, it will take a lot of time for ice to melt. And no matter how much salt you put, it's going to take a lot of time for salt to melt. People somehow don't have patience. Somehow people feel that government has a magical solution. I don't. I mean, there were genuine complaints about roads not being clean, and we went and took care of it. But again, people don't see their role in making a problem. So, for example, people park the cars on the road. I mean, we can't shovel around your car. And because of the low temperature, when they moved the car, all the ice formed into a giant ice ball. Now, that ice ball is so heavy. I mean, physics, you know how much water weighs. Impossible for us to move. So we just have to put some salt and wait for it, Mr. Sun, to do its job. People say, oh, why can't you move it? I can't move it. It's 2 ton. My truck will break down. Right? So people don't realize their role in what happened. But we try to do the best you can. You try to explain. Some people understand, some people don't understand, but that goes with the territory. So you do the best you can, and as long as I'm satisfied that I did the best I can politically and what's best for the township, I'm happy with it. I mean, I don't care if somebody keeps complaining, let them complain.
So over the years, I've also noticed that you are very good in taking criticism. If it makes sense, and if there is logic behind it, and if it's a genuine mistake or something that you could have done better, you actually take it positively. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, that's very true. I mean, I have no problem saying I'm sorry. I messed up. I mean, no person is perfect, and my wife will tell you how imperfect I am. But
I'm not going to ask her.
no,
That's
but
a different podcast altogether. This is
no,
funny.
she has been good. I mean, I have to thank her. No, I just jokingly say that.
Yeah.
But I have no problem taking criticism, and any criticism at least will make me think. I always tell people, if you come to me with an issue, I should be able to explain to you your point of view as best as you can, which means I've understood your point of view. I may disagree with you 100%, but I will be able to explain to you your point of view from your point of view. So, which means I will listen to you. I understood you. It's just that I can't do it for reasons that you may not agree with. And the good thing is, a lot of my friendships in township have started when people came to argue with me. Right? Ideal Alok Sharma first came. He will always tell the story how he came to argue with me about some issue with the school board, and I told him, you're wrong, right? And then we became friends, and now he admits, yeah, he was wrong at that time. And it's not like I'm right 100% of the time. I don't have a crystal ball how things are going to work out in future, but as I said in the past, at that point, if that's the best decision I think it is, considering all the evidence, then I will go with it. And if I made a mistake 5 years down, I'll say, sorry, I made a mistake.
You know, I also, like me, I think many people have noticed that your social media game is pretty strong. So you are like today's mayor, where you respond to people, your team responds, and it's not that you're ignoring anything. So I read on our platform, I read quite a bit. Your game is quite strong. So that's very impressive, Mayor.
Yeah, I know. I tell people, if you ask a question, you'll always get an answer. You may not like the answer, but you'll get an answer. And that's I mean, I have nothing. I always say there's no $1 million check attached to this job. So I will do what I feel is the best. And again, jokingly, I say the day I lose my wife is going to throw a big party because I'll stay home. But I do what I feel is best, and I'm so thankful that majority of people in West Windsor appreciate that. No matter what, during campaign, people always spread news. People always say untrue things. People have used a lot of money against me, especially in last campaign. But I'm very thankful that voters in West Windsor, majority of voters in West Windsor, see me for who I am, what I have done, what I bring to the table, and have re-elected me now the third time.
And I think over the years you've built trust in people. You have actually delivered. So it's not that you're just talking, you're actually doing things, right? Yeah. So tell me, how do you see this town, West Windsor, in the next few years? Like, do we see some good things happening here, some new things, some changes?
Yeah, things. I mean, West Windsor always, I mean, in last 8 years since I became mayor, we have done a lot of things. I mean, even I will go back as far back as 2001. 2001, I got elected to the school board. 2004, I became president of the school board, and I was school board president for 9 years. So, in that time, the school district was growing very rapidly. I mean, we were adding 300-400 kids every year. In spite of that, we kept our ranking, our standard, and we kept improving our standard, and while also managing the budget. So, I mean, I take a great pleasure in how the school district has developed over the last 12 years, because 9 of those years I was the president. So I had a role to play in that whole thing. So I will start from there always. When you talk about what West Windsor is was in early late 90s and what it is going to be in 2030s, I played a large role in become making the school district what it is today, and I am very proud of that. And then I got involved in council, and I got involved in got elected as a mayor. And I am the person who will always say, okay, I don't want to be mayor just for the sake of being mayor. I want to do something. I mean, there's no point. 10 years from now, nobody's going to remember who the mayor of West Windsor was other than ChatGPT, right? So why let it go to your head? I want to do something that makes West Windsor better. So when I retire, when I'm old, when I'm driving by, nobody else may know, but I will know in my heart that okay, that thing is because I did something. So in last 8 years, we have tried to do a numerous projects. There's always a pressure from the state to build in more housing. People are unhappy; they don't want housing, but they don't realize that I don't have a choice. I mean, there's another saying I always use. I wish I was a king. I'm not a king. And I have to follow every law that the state passes. But we have tried to manage as best as we can. We have tried to encourage business to move into West Windsor. And the train station project was stalled for so many times, right? There were three or four very dilapidated buildings around town that have been there since I moved here in 94. I mean, we are getting rid of one by one. Now people say, oh, it's too dense. Yeah, but you wanted something there, right? I mean, you get a choice, but you have to make some choice, and the choice you make is not 100% what you want, but as long as it's better than what it was before and moves you in the right direction, then that's what you should do. So we have done a lot of things like that to make West Windsor better. That area would look very nice because it is going to be a kind of town center, and then the whole area between the station and Clarksville Road, we are going to fix it so it will look a lot nice. So those are the things when I retire, I can point out and say, oh, this is better because I pushed it and I made sure that those things happen.
So I'm really looking forward to that area
Yeah.
and how it will shape up because it's such a prominent area within West
Right.
Windsor. So once that is renovated and we have new things, that'll be amazing. So you mentioned retirement twice. What are the retirement plans?
No, there's no plan. I don't know. As I said, I mean, I never became mayor by saying I want to be mayor, or I never became school board president, or even ran for school board saying I want to run for school board. So it's not like some people have the dream of doing something. I just do it, and I'm very flexible. I mean, I don't. If some new opportunity comes up, I will go and do that. So I am very open and flexible. It's good to do different things in life. That's a good experience. But I like to deal with people. So anything that involves dealing with people, I'll be very happy to do with that. But right now there are no plans other than being mayor for next 4 years. And then I just got elected. So I say you are stuck with me for 4 years, whether you like it or not.
Welcome. Many congratulations for all that you have achieved. I think it's because of who you are and how you see things. It's not easy because it's our personality that makes us who we are and who we become. So before I let you go, what would be your message to all these young kids or young people, new generation who wants to get into public service in any form?
See that I'm glad you asked that question, because I always say be true to yourself. Just I mean, you can, because once you get in politics, there's a lot of pressure from a lot of people saying like, oh, like first time Alok met me, I told you the story. He said, oh, you're going to lose a lot of votes, right? I said, I don't care, right? So be true to yourself. See, you got get into public service for doing good for the community. So always be truthful to that aim, that whatever decision you take is going to be good for the community. Don't sell your soul. I mean, I see a lot of politicians, they get in and they change their opinion, they change 180 degrees. I don't want to sell my soul. I mean, it's not worth it. Nothing is worth it. Nothing is worth that, right? At the end of my life, I want to say that I was true to myself. I mean, I may not become congressman, senator, I don't matter. So my advice to you is politics has now become so much, it's like a profession. People get in as if a job. And then there's a lot of pressure on them that once they get that job, they have to keep it. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep it. It shouldn't be a profession. I mean, it should be truly public service. You do for some time and then you go and do something else. But it has become a profession, unfortunately. And then that forces people to make choices that they may not make if they are true to themselves. So I always tell people, if any young kid wants to get in politics, it's a noble thing, it's a good thing, do get it in, but always remember to be true to yourself. At the end of the day, you should be able to say that I did whatever the best I thought was for the community, even if it meant I didn't win the election, or I was there only for 2 terms or 3 terms rather than 50 years of being in the position. Right? That's my that's my advice to anybody who wants to get into politics.
So, that was my last question, but I think I have another question.
Okay.
So you don't have any desire to get to now next level of being into congressman or any other role in public service?
No, not at this time. I mean, as I said, I've never started by saying I want to be on Congress or right. You see the role I have. I can make a direct impact, and I can see my impact. Right, as a congressman, you are one of 540 something. Right, there you can make impact by solving your constituents' problems. But here I'm having a direct impact because I have a direct say I have a larger say in whatever happens. And I see a direct result of whatever my actions are. And that is very satisfying to me, rather than being a small cog in a big machine and not knowing what you did, how it helped or didn't help. This way it's direct. And I'm very glad because a lot of constituent comes to me with a lot of their problems, either with Indian embassy, this, that, and I'm able to help them. And that gives me satisfaction that, okay, that's my job, to help people deal with the problems either with government or something else. And so I'm very happy in my position and thankful to the voters of West Windsor for trusting me with that.
Well, more power to you. Congratulations. It was such a pleasure to talk to you. You made my Saturday really, really pleasurable. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
And we support you. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining me on Moments with Mamta. If today's conversation inspired you, please follow, share, and stay connected for more meaningful stories. Until next time, this is Mamta signing off.